Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 16th of August, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe until around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. And that will get us just to the start of September. I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say it's been a busy day at GavsWeatherVids today. So the first re-release was the 6 a.m. upload. We also released the ECM WF42 days / 6 weeks ago. And if that was another weekend forecast too, bit of a classic weekend forecast this week. So check out the videos if you'd like to do that. Please like, share, subscribe on the videos. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Just going to tell you that I'm going to be taking a couple of weeks off from Monday. So I'm going to have a bit of a break and recharge the batteries and sort of recalibrate after what's been a very, 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 difficult year. 2022 has not been the best year, has it, for me? So I'm fine, I'm alright. You don't need to worry, I'm not ill or anything like that, but I just, fancy having a bit of a break. So I'm going to have a couple of weeks off. I'll be off a scene from Monday, so that's going to be the 8th, isn't it, of August, to Monday the 22nd is when I'll be back, so it's just going to be a couple of weeks. And there'll probably be a video popping up at some point through that couple of weeks, the second preamble for winter 2022-2023, so that'll probably be popping up somewhere within that couple of weeks. But it's just been a difficult time, and I am rather tired and, a little bit mentally run down and whatnot with everything. So I just fancy having a bit of a break, recharging the batteries. I'm probably, going to go away and see some sea and some beach and some sand and whatnot within a couple of weeks as well. And just generally have a nice relaxing couple of weeks, I think. So I hope that's okay with everybody. I think after a year I've had, I deserve a little bit of a holiday. So I will be back, after a couple of weeks though. So it's only going to be like a 2-week time where I'm off the scene. Right, okay, let's start the video then. So we're going to begin by having a look at the central in the temperature. CT is currently sitting at 18.5. which is 2.7 degrees above average. That's provisional to the 5th, to yesterday. That's provisional to the 5th of August. That's probably going to hold relatively steady, I think, over the next few days. We're going to have, pretty warm days and not overly warm nights through the next 2 or 3, and then things will start heating up again from around the middle of the week onwards. And that might move back up into the 19s actually by the time we get through to the end of next week. So check out weekend forecast, see how hot things are going to be getting next week. I thought we'd have a quick look at the central in temperature through the years for August. This is a CT page at Hadley, going back to 1659. It's the oldest and most reliable temperature record anywhere on Earth, although, of course, the further back you go, the more unreliable it gets. It's only a snapshot of what the conditions were like. We had our share of hot summers even back then. We are having a hot summer this year, of course. For example, 1666 was a hot summer with a June CT of 15 degrees, July CT of 18 degrees, August CT of 17 degrees. Bear in mind, that's just a snapshot, but we know it was a hot summer because and a very dry summer as well, because it culminated in the Great Fire of London in early September, which was also a warmish month at 14 degrees CT. And we know that the fire was exacerbated by several weeks of hot and dry weather that were experienced in London in 1666. So, we had our fair share of hot summers back then, but the difference now, of course, is that we get more hot summers and we don't get as cool summers or cold winters in between as we used to. Let's come down then to the current year, 2022. So this is our year, of course. It's been a very, very warm year so far. January not too far from average at 4.7, but a very warm February at 16.9, very mild February, 16.9, very mild March, 8 degrees, very mild April 9.2, a hot May at 13.1, June a little bit closer to average, and then of course we get 14.9, and then of course we get, what's it, 14.9, let's get rid of that. Yeah, 14.9. So just a bit above average for June. And then, of course, you get the hot July at 18.2. Wait and see where August is going to be. We haven't had an 18 Celsius CT August famously since 2003. This one up here, there it is, 18.3. Are we going to correct that 19 years on with 2022? What's tending to be happening, we'll find out, at month's end. But what tends to happen with August is that it tends to be cooler than July. So, for example, we have 2006, where we have the hottest July and the hottest month on record at 19.8. And then August goes a lot cooler, down to 16.2. And similar sort of developments in 2013, where we have a hot July at 18.5, and then August goes down to 17 degrees, which is actually quite a warm month, but it's significantly cooler than the July that precedes it. Similar developments again in 2018. There you see it, 19.3 CET for July 2018, and then down to 16.8 for August, and so on. We did almost have an 18 Celsius CET August in 2020. That had a CET of 17.7, and for most of the month it looked like it would be our first 18 Celsius CET August since 2003. But in the end, the last week of the month turned a lot cooler. And of course, that is something you have to bear in mind about August. It is a cooling month, which means that the second half of the month will usually be cooler than the first half of the month. It is like the first cooling month of the period, right the way through from August, right the way through to around January. Most months will be cooler, will get cooler as the month progresses, you see what I mean. So you do have to bear that in mind about August, and that's what happened in 2020. What about the classic hot summers, and what is our hottest August? Well, we've got 1995 here, of course, where we have an August CT of 19.1. We also have 19.7 with an August CT of 19.0. So very, very closely aligned, those two August CTs. But August 1995 is the hottest August on record. We also have very hot August in 1990 at 18.0. It's very strange how we have so many hot Augusts from 1990 through to 2003, a 13-year period. We have that one just there. We have that one. We have that one just there, and of course we have 2003 itself. So you have like 5 August with a CT at 18 degrees or more from 1990 to 2003 in a 13-year period, and then in the intervening 18 years, anyway, up to this year. In the intervening 18 years, none at all. So it just shows that sometimes the weather patterns can kind of repeat themselves a little bit. You can get that at times with the weather, and we had a little bit of that in the 1990s to early 2000s with those hot Augusts. 1995, of course, was a very hot summer overall, very dry summer as well, drought summer. We have the July CT in 1995 at 18.5 and the August CT at 19.1. What stops that being the hottest summer on record and beating 1976 is June. That was quite an average CT at 14.2. So it took a little while to get going. It wasn't until like late June that the summer of 1995 got going. But when it got going, it really really got going. So our 76 look, of course, the daddy of hot summers, there it is. Now that has a June CT of 16.9. It's been revised by the UK Met, by the way. June 1976 always had a 17.0 CT, and then they've revised that for some reason 0.1 of a degree down to 16.9. But anyway, it is still the hottest June on record. And then we've got July 1976 at 18.5. August 1976 is at 17.6. Not excessively hot. And the reason for that is that there's actually quite a lot of cool. It wasn't very warm by day. Most days that month, sort of mid upper 20s to low 30s Celsius temperatures, but nights tend to be a little bit cooler. And the reason for that is that the nights are a little bit longer in August, and we kind of like went into almost like a desert type scenario with cooler nights and very warm days due to, you know, just how dry everything was by that point. Actually, August 1976 was hot. 1975 was hotter at 18.6. There was also a very, very hot summer a long time ago, back in 1911. Which this summer is kind of close to, actually. So there's 1911 just there. We had June CT at 14.5, July CT 1911 at 18.2, and August CT at 18.2. So a pair of months, July and August in 1911, both of them coming out at 18.2. Now, it's a little bit of a comparison, I think, between this summer and the summer of 1911. I suppose we'd better talk about really bad August, haven't we? So, when was the last time we had a very cool August? I will crack on video very short. So, we had a very cool August in 2012 with a CT of 15.6. No, I'm wrong. Can't remember right. Let's do that again. We had a very cool. Have had some very cool August actually over the past few years. 2014 at 15.1 was quite cold August. 2017 at 15.7 was pretty cool as well. That's the last time I had an August CT in the 15s. 2010. Had an August CT of just 15.4. The last time we was under 15 degrees in August was, I believe, in 1993, where we have a very, very cool August at 14.6 for the central England temperature. And the last time we was under 14 degrees in August was in 1986, where we see the August central temperature then at 13.7. Really cold August, one of the coldest and wettest August on record. So it can get very cool and wet in August, but obviously this year is not going to be doing anything like that. Well, you've had that little look through the CT. Interesting. I do like to do CT Saturday, and you know, have a look at some of the data and whatnot. We wait and see where we're going to end up, of course, for August CT, but it certainly looks like it's going to be yet another significantly warmer than average month to add to the collection that we've had through this year so far. Right, central temperature looks like this. We're looking at Romford. No, what I'm talking about, the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles are looking like this. And we're looking at Romford in Essex today, suggested location for this part of the video. So red light is 30 upper air temperature average for Romford, and we're a little bit below average at the moment, just a little bit on the cooler side, but we are going to see, although it is warm by day, but it's cooler at night, but we are going to see pretty much from now onwards the trend being upwards with the upper air temperatures. So by the time we get through to next weekend, we're looking really quite hot indeed, with the upper air temperature somewhere between 15 and 20 degrees at 850 HPA. Several days of hot weather by the look of it, late next week and through the weekend as well. Into the following week, the third week of August, it looks like we will start to get a bit of a cool down, but it may take a while. Eventually, it seems that we return back closer to average. But certainly for the next week, 10 days, anyway, the trend is upwards with the temperature going to be very warm to hot. Precipitation-wise, we look completely dry as well over the next week, 10 days. Really, barely any measurable rainfall at all there for Romford, which is going to be very representative of many southern east areas. Again, late on through that third week of August, we might see things going a bit more unsettled, but some showers and whatnot turning up. But that's extended range, it's unreliable. So within the reliable time frame, which is 7 to 10 days, it looks very warm to hot and dry. Temperature anomalies from the 6th to the 14th of August going to be significantly above average, especially so for England and Wales, a little bit less so for Scotland and Northern Ireland, but a hot week to come down in the south. And precipitation anomalies, well, look at that, tells the story. doesn't it? 6th to 14th of August, very, very, very substantially drier than normal, with some places getting no measurable rainfall at all. Latest wind from that from earthnorthschool.net shows that high pressure is building in from off the Atlantic. The jet stream is moving back northwards again. You can see where the jet is. The jet is going to be here with these westerlies, so the Atlantic winds, rain-bearing systems are still pushed north by the high pressure that's underneath the south of the jet, and that high is on its way in and will be dominating weather throughout the week. And this shows it up very nicely. This is the UK Met Euro chart for midnight on Tuesday. High pressure is right in over the top of the country. We're looking mostly dry, very warm to hot, and that high pressure goes on throughout the week next week. So, you know, there's no change right the way up to this time next week, Saturday, 13th of August. That high pressure is well and truly rooted and anchored, being in these hot, dry, easterly winds. I have to say, this is looking very reminiscent of August 1995. I remember August 1995 very well, and this is really reminiscent of that. This is our icon is looking again. High pressure is in control, and basically in control throughout the entire week, sitting over and to the east of the country as well. We bring in those very warm, hot easterly winds. You see there is some very hot air just to our south over Northern France. Will we tap into that extreme heat? You know, we'll have to wait and see. Probably not, but it's there over Northern France, so the chance is always there if the wind goes into the south or southeast that we'll pull that up. But it's hot enough anyway, with a plus 15 Celsius throughout England, Wales, and so that would lift the temperature into the low to maybe even mid-30s Celsius. GFS midnight run, all much of a muchness. High pressure will be in control. But I'm going to run through these charts very quick because, you know, they do look very much the same across all models. High pressure dominating the weather right the way up to daytime, the 16th of August, by which time we might have started to see some lower pressure coming into the northwest, a bit of weakening of that ridge. And actually into the extreme range, the GFS midnight run does turn things more unsettled, with this low developing over into the west of the country, which will bring heavy showers, thunderstorms, and maybe even longer spells of rain. How seriously we take that remains to be seen. Check this out right here on the extreme left-hand side of the chart as you're looking at it. That is like a hurricane, or tropical storm and or hurricane moving into the North Atlantic. It's been a very quiet start to the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, but that could well be the first, you know, major storm moving from the tropics up into the North Atlantic. That is August the 20th. It's still relatively early days in this hurricane season. I think we are going to see things pepping up with the hurricane season over the next couple of weeks. So that'll be interesting to see where it is by the time we get through to the end of the GFS midnight run, just there on the 22nd of August, which is the day that I return, of course, with the videos and whatnot. Yeah, that's like the first major storm moving into the North Atlantic there. Right, GFS 6Z, it's external range, so it might not come off, but it's something to keep an eye on. GFS 6Z looking like this. High pressure dominating the weather on Tuesday. The high pressure vest goes on throughout the week, bringing loads of dry and warm to hot weather. By daytime, the high pressure jumping to pull out into the Atlantic a little bit, trying to drop in something a bit cooler and more showery into the far north and northwest of the country. Maybe some showery conditions there. And then we extended, we look like that, just started to turn a little bit more unsettled again through that extended range period as lower pressure comes in off the Atlantic, bringing cooler northwest winds. That's typical for August, as I explained when we was looking at CT. August is a cooling month, so the second half tends to often be cooler than the first half, which is often what scuppers us getting these 18 Celsius CT August compared to July. So it might come off like that, but I'm a little bit dubious. A couple of days ago, it looked like August would turn more unsettled, and that got put back. Now we're talking about week 3 to turn cooler and more unsettled. So let's wait and see, but I am a little bit dubious about that, I have to say. If you're enjoying the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We are on our way now Can you believe this? We're on our way to 14.3K subscribers, 14,300 subscribers. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for doing that. GM, again, with high pressure in control of weather on Tuesday. Very dry, warm, hot weather throughout most of next week. The GM actually pulls wind into the southeast a little bit by Friday. So that could bring up some very hot air from the south there. Maybe a little bit thundery over next weekend. But fundamentally, right way up to day 10, the GM looking very warm to hot and mostly dry. And then finally, the ECM WF looks like that, with high pressure in control of the weather on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday too. And we bring up these east to southeasterly winds with the ECM, which does threaten to bring some very, very hot air up from the south. We have got the plus 20 Celsius iceberg there over northern and western France, just beginning to flirt with southwestern parts of England. Remember, plus 20 Celsius, plus 20 Celsius isoverm probably gets the temperature to around 37 or 38 degrees. That is 100 Fahrenheit. So temperatures by next weekend could well be approaching 100 Fahrenheit. Can you believe that? Wow, 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 so hot. And then beyond that, we see that the high pressure remains in control. It gradually eases to the west, so by Tuesday 16th, day 10, we possibly just start doing something a little bit cooler and more showery into the north. But even then, it still looks really hot, though, down in the south. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tibetio.com. Showery in the far north and northwest. Otherwise, it's just completely dry, and you'll notice that there is no measurable rainfall there at all. Most parts of England and Wales over the next 10 days. So the drought will not only continue, but will intensify, I think, and get more severe over the next 10 days. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble to day 4. Day 10 gets us to the 16th of August. 13 members of the ECM ensembles pull the high pressure out to the west a little bit and slip it away to the northeast with some lower pressure out to the northwest, so possibly taking a little bit more showery with that. 13 have high pressure pretty much over top of the country, mostly dry, very warm with that. That does include the operational run as well. 9 though, bringing in a trough of low pressure. That will be useful. Get a little bit of rainfall going. Trough of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic with that one. 9 just here have low pressure towards Scandinavia. High pressure in the middle of the Atlantic. That's cooler and more showery with winds in from the northwest. And then 7 have high pressure to the east and low pressure to the west. That's probably the hottest option. That will get the wind up from the south, so it could bring some of that very hot air up from France, but might be a little bit volatile. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This one will get us to the 21st of August. 28 members of ECM ensembles pull the high pressure out into the Atlantic, drop a trough of low pressure into Scandinavia, so that is rather cool and showery winds in from the northwest. And then 23 with low pressure out to the west, high pressure to the east, and winds are coming in from a southwesterly direction. Could be a little bit more changeable into the second half of August, but I'm still a little bit on the dubious side about that, I have to say. Right, where are we here then? So I want to pull that over there and go to there. Right, CFS V2 finally, V2 500 millibar height anomalies breaking down into week periods. The first week period will take us from the 6th to 12th of August. We know that the coming week is dominated by high pressure. Look how this rig sort of extends through. So we'll start it, let's start this at Newfoundland and that sort of area. So, like East Coast of America up to Newfoundland, high pressure there. It reaches through the Atlantic Ocean into the UK and Western Europe. Then it carries on in towards Scandinavia and off into Russia. It continues to go through Russia over toward the Pacific, and then it extends through the Northern Pacific as well, and into the west coast of America, and then on through the central part of America too, and then back to Eastern America. That is an extraordinary area of high pressure, isn't it? And I haven't seen that for quite a while, but I think we had that bit in 2018, June, July 2018. I think we saw that sort of ring of high pressure like that. This is how we look in week 2. This is the 13th to the 19th of August. High pressure still in control, but just slipping a little bit further southwards. Low pressure around Greenland and Iceland. That's the polar vortex beginning to get going, of course. Maybe something a bit more showery for the far northern part of the country. This is week 3, which will be the 20th to the 26th of August. Still really with high pressure dominating over and to the east and north of the country. Again, we could bring up the wind from quite a hot southeasterly direction with that. And then finally, week 4 is the 27th. Again, it's going to be the 27th of August, 2nd of September. High pressure dominates to the north of Scotland. It's still very dry up to that point. Winds are still in from the east. And we're looking hot and whatnot still with that, I think, to the end of August. Right, if you enjoyed the video, then please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment. Let us know about this and all of our video. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids and ask them to subscribe too. We thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right then, so we're done with today's videos. They're just coming up tomorrow and be my last day before I have my couple of weeks rest. So tomorrow we have a 6 AM upload. We will also tomorrow be having a 10 to 14 day, I think, and then I'll be live streaming with you in the evening at 8 PM. Be kind of like the last thing I do. I suppose it'll be my farewell live stream, won't it? But only for a couple of weeks. But I'll be live streaming anyway tomorrow at 8 PM. So I should see you live then. But there's a couple of videos to go before that. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday and for this one. That's all for now. And thanks for watching.